Hello and welcome to Positively Sparta. I'm your host, Nikki Morville. I am here at the JCP&L building, and I am here with area manager Jackie Espinoza. So as you can see, it's pretty cool here. We got the big trucks behind me, and when we often see these trucks, I guess people often panic and they say, what's going on? What's wrong? What's out? And in Sparta, it's like the epicenter of Sussex County. There are so many people that come through daily that need to get through the roads, that need to use electricity. So tell us a little bit about the winter plan here at JCP&L per se for the county and especially for Sparta.
Oh, certainly. Well, if we ever suspect a storm coming out, we have a meteorologist who monitors the storm. So way before you even hear it on the news, yes, we are preparing at Jersey Central Power and Light. So our meteorologists will take a look at the storm, how it's going to affect our facilities, what we can do in preparation. So before this first snowflake hits the ground, we have staff in place. We have staging sites for our crews. So sometimes what we'll do is if we call in additional help, we'll stage them outside where the storm's going to hit. And then once the storm goes through, we bring in more staff. But there's a lot of preparation that goes along.
Well, who knew that the backstory was the JCP&L folks knew about the meteorology? I mean, that's fantastic. That's really good to know. Now, okay, so now we know it's going to snow, or now we know there's going to be a thunder and lightning. Something terrible is going to happen. The lights are going to go out. What is the new communication that you can get to us?
Okay, what we do is we communicate a lot with the township officials and with the media. So I will send alerts out to all the township officials. Sparta Township is very active. Their police department posts a lot of my information on their Facebook page. Right. If there is a large power outage, they post it on their Facebook page. I give estimated times of restoration, a little synopsis of what the situation is. But the most important thing is to be prepared, yes, have a plan in place. Yes, yes, we do a lot of prep before the storm hits. A lot goes into it. Yes. And we encourage, customers to do the same thing. Absolutely. If you know a storm's coming, have your flashlights available with batteries, accessible. Always report your outage to JCP&L. Mm-hmm. It's a really simple number to remember. Yes. It's 1-888-LIGHTS with 2 S's. Okay. So it's 888-LIGHTSS. Okay. So report your power outage. And then they will always say, do you want to call back to ensure your power is on? Say yes. Yes. And I'll tell you why. Okay, why? Because we could have a large situation where maybe there's a wire down, a pole knocked down. We fix it. However, you have an individual problem to your house, your service wires on the ground. Yes. So we may assume, you're all picked up. Yes. So you get the call back, like, no, I still don't have power. Then we know, go to your house, there's something else going on.
20,000 people recently came through Sparta for the German Christmas market. Jerry Morelli has the story.
It's pretty magical, and it just really brings out the Christmas spirit in everyone. Well, this is Kayla. This is Chloe. This is Megan over here.
What do you guys like about the Christmas market?
I like it a lot because I can hang out with my best friends and just talk.
When you had this idea 15 years ago, did you ever think it would be this big?
Well, first of all, it wasn't just my idea. It was, it was a team effort bringing things together. So we had dreams of it certainly being this big. This year, it's taken us 15 years to accomplish it. This was our dream, to actually go all the way along to the end of the boardwalk. And, I'm just delighted that, we have accomplished it. So we never envisaged having the full use of the country club. So that was a welcome introduction, particularly for vendors who have materials that cannot stomach the cold outside, more fragile items, glass. So the fact that we've actually not just gone all the way down to the end of the country club, but that we've actually gone inside the entire and taken over the entire building is massive as well. So we have now, just for this year's record, 115 vendors spread over basically 120 spaces.
T-Love, can you talk about the volunteers, particularly Home Depot, who set this whole thing up?
Yes. The volunteers are Home Depot sent 11 people to come in and help set up the huts. The huts were constructed by 4 people, Gary Simmons, John Quinlan, Ron Donner, and myself. And then they were brought here on Sunday before the market opened, and on Monday we erected all the buildings. And if it weren't for Home Depot coming in with their crew of 11, I don't think we would have gotten them all up. It took 11 hours that day, but they were phenomenal in getting their group together. And it's a building team effort for Home Depot. You know, it does it to build their team and bring strength within their organization itself. So it's really from
but
the
it's
start
also
to the
their way
community.
as well of giving back to the community. So as well as that team building effort, isn't it?
Yeah, it's great.
So fabulous.
Actually, right from the very beginning in January when it's planned for the next year, it's astounding what these women, how many, 30? 30
There's
women?
about 20.
20
There's
women
about 20
who
women.
put this all together, and it's a Herculean effort, and they put it all together within a year, and this is the end result. And it starts with community and ends with community. It's completely volunteer driven, which is great.
Elena, how does this drive the Sparta economy?
Well, I would certainly like to think that it's boosted it tremendously. I mean, I know from having spoken over the years to each and every merchant that's within the Plaza Merchants Association here, they actually have openly told us it is their busiest weekend of the entire year. So it beats July the 4th, it beats any other parade day that we have. It really is the jewel in the crown for them as well. So, and it's really put Sparta on the map. I mean, I had calls from afar afield as actually the Baltimore Sun newspaper, because they were doing an article on northeastern Christmas markets, and they knew and had heard about ours. So that to me just demonstrates the reach that, you know, we're accomplishing, which I think is tremendous and helping to really put Sparta on the map.
How do you start planning for next year now?
Well, we'll have a meeting in January, and it will just start with the get-go, and Helena and Judy Bielert will head the committee again, and everybody has their own jobs to do, and it starts early. I mean, as early as January, and every month there's a meeting, and that's why it gets executed so wonderfully.
Yeah. But I would also like to comment that T is not just on the regular committee, she's also on that hut committee, as she mentioned, but she's here as a vendor and also representing one of the chosen charities that we give back to. So she's actually here in a capacity wearing 4 hats. So she looks at the market from, you know, a whole different perspective than I do, just being one of the co-chairs.
All right, Nikki, we're back here at the Muggs Media Studios right in Sparta on Main Street. We are a proud local business here in town. We are proud to bring you this program, Positively Sparta. And one of the big days of the year, of course, is Veterans Day. It's always a big day in Sparta, and Pete Litchfield does a great job of running the Sparta VFW and Sparta Veterans Day.
Today, it's a day to bring all our fellow veterans and citizens in our town together to appreciate what a beautiful country we live in. Every year we try to have a different guest speaker, and we try to talk about topics of today and also reflect on the past a little bit and how Veterans Day became to exist, and hopefully someday we won't have any wars.
The Sparta VFW is available for all events.
Yes, the hall is doing fantastic. We remodeled everything last year. We've had a lot of birthday parties, baby showers, graduation parties, birthday parties, anniversaries. We had one anniversary where the people donated all their gifts to our educational fund, which helped immensely to one of our wounded vets.
It's now time for the sports section of the show, and we are now on to the Sparta girls basketball team. They are headed to prep for the season, and it all started with camp over the summer.
Obviously the important things: dribbling, passing, shooting, rebounding, boxing out, hustle. We're real big into the sportsmanship component as well. We run stations in the morning, so they're learning everything different all day long. In the mornings we also run a WNBA 3-on-3 tournament. They're learning the finer points of the games. We have all my high school team is here helping, along with my coaching staff. And we also have guest speakers coming in this week. Justin Potts, former Sparta graduate, Moravian head coach, he's coming tomorrow. Steve Leo from the Parisi School, teaching them proper footwork, speed, jumping, plyometrics, and those things. So it's been a good turnout this year.
How important is it for the young kids to attend a camp like this to learn the skills to prepare them for the high school level?
Camps like this, first of all, they need to make it fun because sometimes it's too hard driven. But if they're learning the proper holding of the ball, the proper dribbling, proper passing techniques, camps like this are really perfect. They're getting those skills set so that when they get to the higher levels, it makes it a lot easier to go concept, strategy, plays, and things like that. If we get them in high school and they don't know how to do a left-hand layup, that's a problem. So we've got to make sure as we move through, like I tell kids all the time, I don't care if you miss the ball on a left-hand layup, if you miss the shot, you've got to learn that eventually.
You played for this great program. Talk about the tradition of Sparta girls basketball with Fred. You played for Fred Gefkin. Now you're coaching when he retired. Talk about the great tradition that you guys built here at Sparta.
It's why I came back. I really loved what was instilled in me when I was a player for Fred. We were fortunate enough to win a state championship back then, and Fred had 2 more after us. Literally, the tradition of Sparta is really inside of me, and I love giving it back to this community. I live in town, I teach in the high school, and obviously it was a really big part of my childhood, and I want to give it back to these kids as well.
And talk about the younger players, how they come up through the Sparta system. You see the players at a young age. How does this work for you, seeing the kids that may play for you someday?
I got to say that's probably the best part. I work with the kids not just in camp, but I go to their PAL practices and things like that. So I get to know them, and I can see the improvement, or I also see where they need work. Those coaches talk to me, and we can instill some of that stuff, whether it be a pick and roll, get your footwork down, and things like that. So as I can spend time with them, it's going to help the program in the end at the high school level.
At what age are you able to spot the talent? 4th or 5th grade, you kind of know that you have the potential of having a high school player at that young age?
You can spot an athlete at a very young age, but basketball is a sport that takes a lot of skill, and I have seen awesome skill and athleticism at a young age, but I've also seen awesome athleticism and a learned skill at a higher age. So I hate to put a kid in a box and say they don't have it. Right. I've seen kids get it and they all mature differently with skill levels, and that's one of the really cool things. I hate to write a kid off early. If they're athletic, they'll get it. And if they want it bad enough, they'll go get it.
How much do you enjoy this week? It's one of the best weeks of the year for you?
Totally. I look forward to this. The second best thing is the season that comes up in November, but this is my most favorite thing because it's so fun to see these kids, smiles on their face, ready to work so hard and learn.
Talk about November. That'll be here before we know it.
Yeah.
Can you give us a little preview of the Lady Spartans this year?
Sure. I lost 3 seniors, one being Gretchen Bowie, another being Amanda Johnson, my defensive stud, and another Emmy Silverstein, my point guard. So I lost 3 very key components. My junior class is very strong, and my senior class, I have excellent athletes and role models. We are going to be a tough competitive team just because we love to win. Skill-wise, those are the things I've got to hopefully transfer to them for the summer up until November here and get it put in play.
We're at the Muggs Media Studios on Main Street in Sparta. This is where we edit Positively Sparta, and we get it out there for all you residents around Sparta and Sussex County. And folks, we have a sports section on this show, and we take a look at the Sparta wrestling team who had a big win over Newton before the holidays. Let's take a look at the highlights of that match.
This match starts at 132 pounds, and it's Garrett Stewart of Sparta turning Arion Mahmoudi to his back for the fall in 2:28. And Sparta has a 6-0 lead over Newton here at Sparta High School. At 138 pounds, it's Jake DeLuca of Newton with the takedown here to go up 3-1 over Carter Sheridan, and he would decision Sheridan 3-1 to cut Sparta's lead to 6-3. We go to 145 pounds, it's Nick Giordano of Newton with the half as he pins Austin Bramley in 2:55, and Newton has a 9-6 lead through 3 bouts. Now watch Wyatt McCarthy with the nice move here for the 2. Then he gives up the 1 to get another 2 points as he would major decision Sean McHugh 17-4. And Newton is up 13-6 over Sparta after the 152-pound match. We go to 160 pounds and watch John Borgononi of Newton with the reversal as he picks up 2 as he would go on to major Sean Finnegan 11-2 to push Newton's lead to 17-6. Patty Finnegan will get Sparta back in the win column here at 170 pounds Watch him get the takedown and the back points as he goes up 6-1, as he would decision Nick Brigante 8-1, and Sparta trails 17-9. But Newton comes right back at 182 pounds. Watch Joey DeLuca roll Mike Freeman to his back for the 6 points in 2:22, and Newton goes up 23-9 midway through the match. But now we hit the meat of the Sparta lineup, and it's Robbie Gannat at 195 with the reversal en route to a key 10-4 decision over a very tough Luke Fisher, and Sparta trails 23-12. Sparta picks up 6 here at 220 pounds. Watch district champ Billy Lowen pin Matt Summers in 147, and Sparta cuts its deficit to 5, 23-18. Zach Herbert keeps it going for Sparta at 285. Watch him deck Luis Arizola in 115, and Sparta retakes the lead 24-23 with 4 matches to go. At 106 pounds, watch freshman Cooper Stewart of Sparta pin Aiden Bartz in just 40 seconds, and Sparta goes up by 7, 30-23. We go to 113 pounds, and it's all Marcus Potato of Sparta with the takedown and the points, as he would major decision Julian Sibley's 15-4, and it's 34-23 Sparta with 2 matches to go. Then at 120 pounds, it's Matt Rosa of Newton with the escape, as he would decision Rocco Gignatelli 7-2, and Sparta's lead is now 34-26. At 126 pounds, it's all Michael Frieda of Newton, as he gets a 2 here en route to an 11-2 major decision over Cassius Battaglia, with Sparta would hold on for the 34-30 victory here at Sparta High School.
The Turkey Trot was hosted by the Sparta Education Foundation. There was a slew of runners, and unfortunately, Jerry Muggs Morelli did not run, but he did cover the story.
Well, we've been sponsoring this event this is our 10th anniversary, and it's a true honor to be a part of the entire organization. And it's been growing every year, and we're just so pleased that we can be a part of it and be a part of the community and serve the community to the best of our ability.
Fuchs has been involved in the Turkey Trot since it began.
Well, I was surprised 10 years ago. It's kind of a funny story, but the first year they did it, when they came to me, I thought they were nuts. I didn't think anybody would come out for a race on Thanksgiving morning, so I decided not to open the restaurant that day. And to my surprise, I came down and there were 1,200 people out here wondering why we weren't open. And ever since that, which was 10 years ago, we've opened every single year. We're always very busy here. The runners and their families love coming in on Thanksgiving morning to warm up or have a drink or just relax. And I'm always shocked every year the number of people who show up for this event. It's absolutely remarkable.
I just took it out Saturday and I just carried it through in the end.
What's your strategy going in?
I just wanted to stay relaxed and then make a move with 800 to go. It was a really close race. I wasn't sure.
How much training did you do for this race?
I've been training a pretty good amount. I trained with the Pope John team. Toughest part would probably be around the second mile when that is that hill. Pretty steep.
The top female finisher on the Sparta 5K Turkey Trot, Amy Chedwidden, an assistant coach at Walk Hill Valley.
Been training for a couple months now. I'm part of a track club, Garden State Track Club, so I've been putting in a couple months of training for them. I actually went back and I'm an assistant coach over at Walk Hill Valley, so working with those kids keeps me inspired, keeps me motivated, and I hope to do the same for them.
The Sparta train station and the Marines hosted Toys for Tots.
So we actually opened the train station earlier this year in October, and the second week of October we had a wonderful open house tour, and a gentleman by the name of John Sabatka came in, and he works for the railroad and is also a very serious volunteer with the Marine Toys for Tots Foundation. For the last 8 years he's been championing a railroad tour, which essentially is this train goes from town to town to town throughout northern New Jersey collecting toys, and he thought, what a great wonderful space, what a great town to potentially end the first leg of the tour at the Sparta train station. So he approached us about being a part of it, and of course we were very seriously overjoyed to be a part of this great community effort. And to bring the Toys for Tots campaign into Sparta in a different way, including, by rail. So we're very excited to be a part of this.
The Sparta train station is available for rental.
Sure. So the Sparta train station serves a lot of different purposes, actually. It's a beautiful museum where we house railroad artifacts, and it's really, in a big way, an artistic backdrop for creative educational experiences. So we actually hold a whole slew of art classes, creative classes in nature that cater to different mediums, so painting, drawing, sculpting, music classes, really anything that you can think of that, stimulates creative minds. We have that available on our website. It's traincreative.org, traincreative.org. But also a great thing that people might not know about the train station is that it's available for private event rentals. So if you wanted to have a birthday party here, engagement party, any sort of gathering, it's a really interesting and different type of backdrop to have a great event here. So we hope that this becomes a great resource for the community in terms of it being a museum, an educational center, as well as a place to bring people together in various types of events and parties.
The Sparta Road Department is once again preparing for the winter.
Well, we actually have a pretty good snow plan here that we put in place with strict policies. So before the season starts, we have a snow meeting with all personnel. We get assigned routes, we get assigned trucks, and basically what we do is we break the town into about 5 different sections with 4 to 5 guys in each section so that the entire town could get covered in appropriate timing.
The Sparta DPW is on the job and ready for any storms that come our way.
We have a pretty good system down. Like I said, the town is broken into different sections. If one person finishes, they go to their neighboring route. They'll finish that. Nobody comes back here to the shop until all the roads are treated. So there are challenges, certain things that the community here can help us out with, cars in the road, garbage cans, basketball nets, anything that's going to cause a problem. And the number one thing is if the weather is really bad, if you could go in late to work that day or work from home and stay off the roads till we get them safe for travel.
So what are the hopes for the people of Sparta? Well, we hit the streets to find out.
Moving forward, probably more community, more opening of small businesses, people supporting small businesses, shopping locally.
I just hope for Sparta to become a stronger community together and help each other out and become more organized and better well-systemed.
What do you like most about living in Sparta?
I love the community itself because we all work together, and I love that because most communities don't and they all stick separately.
In the new year, I am just hoping that our community can continue to grow as it has been as far as everyone helping each other and working together and bring more businesses into town and more restaurants like this one and to keep us moving forward.
Sparta High School has a new superintendent. Let's meet this gentleman.
Tell us, about your career and how you ended up in Sparta.
I started in education 29 years ago. I was a graduate student and a director of a dormitory and a teacher and a coach up in Massachusetts. I was attending Tufts University. I spent 4 years there. I then came back to New Jersey and spent 5 years teaching and coaching at Randolph High School. I then moved on to higher education, worked at Centenary College as an education professor full-time for a number of years. And then I gravitated towards public school administration. I was a district supervisor, a building principal, before becoming a superintendent for the past 12 years. And I've been fortunate enough to work in some really, really fine school districts, such as Lopakon Township and Roxbury and Madison. And I got interested in Sparta because of the similarities among the experiences I've had and the values that Sparta has placed on academics, extracurricular athletics, and providing students with a variety of experiences that will help prepare them for their futures and make them positive contributors to society.
How about Sparta? What impresses you most about this school district?
The commitment to excellence. I looked at the strategic plan that was created a couple of years back, and it is very consistent with the types of endeavors that I've led or been a participant in my own experiences, trying to provide the best possible experiences for students, the facilities, the types of community engagement, the partnership with the township, our parent groups. I was also very impressed by the efforts of the Sparta Education Foundation and what they're trying to accomplish to help enrich the overall opportunities for all students pre-K through 12. And so I thought that there was a lot of compelling similarities that Sparta had, and I felt that I would be able to not only sustain those, but perhaps eventually take them to even higher levels of success.
Of course, Sparta, known for its athletics. In football, they've had success the last several years. In basketball, they enjoyed some success. What do you think about the athletic programs here in Sparta?
Well, I've always admired Sparta's commitment to excellence in all of its extracurricular engagements. You mentioned athletics. My my niece and my nephew both played basketball here, so I'm very familiar with how Sparta strives to be the best it could be on the court, on the field, in areas that complement these student experiences in the classroom. I look forward to supporting the teams as they compete for conference championships and hopefully beyond, but also just with the recognition that being involved in extracurricular activities, in this case sports, really helps young men and young women learn the value of hard work, dedication, commitment, teamwork, being able to connect and work towards a common goal with people of various and divergent backgrounds.
What you want to accomplish here in your tenure at Sparta?
Well, my first goal is just to kind of get to know the people in the various areas of the organization, from the central office to building level administration, of course, our teaching and support staff, the individuals who take care of our grounds, our technology staff. That's the first order of business for me over the course of the first 6 months, and start to work with the committees of the Board of Education to make informed recommendations, and then branch out to the township and work with the officials from Sparta proper and just to get to know everybody that comprises our learning community, and in particular, of course, our parents and our students, who are our main clients.
All right, folks, that does it for our first show of the new year for Positively Sparta, reporting here at the JCP&L building, such a huge part of your community. If you have any story ideas for the new year for Positively Sparta, well, then why don't you email Jerry at mugsmedia.com. For everyone here at Positively Sparta, I'm your host, Nikki Moorville. Have a good night.